Master Lee was a scholar, a man of books and wisdom. He lived in a modest Korean farmhouse with a courtyard. In his service were two souls, Chadol, a servant, and a concubine, Spring Blossom. Chadol was simple and naive. He saw the world through honest eyes, understanding little of the complexities of human relationships. He respected Master Lee and treated concubine Spring Blossom with the same deference he showed all women. He was an earnest worker, if a little slow, and devoted to his duties.
Master Lee. Observing Chadol's innocence, I often find myself pondering. I see in the young man a purity of heart that is both endearing and, in a way, enviable. It is a stark contrast to the constant suspicion that gnaws at me regarding Spring Blossom.
One day, the concubine asked to visit her hometown for a while, and the scholar tried to send an innocent man who did not know the affairs between men and women to protect the concubine.
Chadol, why don't you escort Spring Blossom to her hometown and take her back?
She, for her part, seemed amused by the situation. The following day they set off, Chadol leading a donkey laden with their belongings. Their journey took them through fields of golden wheat and over hills blanketed in wildflowers. Chadol, ever the diligent servant, ensured Spring Blossom was comfortable, shielding her from the sun and fetching water from clear streams. As they travelled, Spring Blossom would try to engage Chadol in conversation. She found his innocence both endearing and frustrating. She would tell him stories, some fantastical, some teasing, and he would listen with wide, earnest eyes.
Chadol, do you know why Master Lee sent me with you?
Chadol pondered this, scratching his head.
He said you need an escort and that it was not proper for a beautiful lady to travel alone.
Spring Blossom laughed, a melodic sound that echoed through the trees. Chadol blushed, confused but pleased by her laughter. Chadol, let's take a break here. Your little mom. Meanwhile, Chadol is pushing a flock from a stream, and when she sees his stuff it looks bigger and better than I thought, so she teases and says, Chadol, there's something like a stick of meat between your legs. What the hell is it? He did not understand the reason for her amusement, but he was glad to be the cause of it. Since I was flying, there has been something like a small root. But gradually there is something like that. I've grown this big today. He treated her respectfully, addressing her formally and maintaining a respectful distance. I've had a small hole between my legs since I was flying, but it's getting bigger and bigger. Now it's getting deeper and deeper. I think it'll be a perfect match if I stick your pointed stick in my depression. The scholar escorted the concubine to a foolish servant, but he couldn't be relieved. So he ran behind him and reached the hill and saw what the two were doing, and it seemed like a man and a woman were doing it. He kept his distance, hidden amongst the trees or upon a distant ridge, observing their every interaction. He barked, "Hey, what have you just done? I've seen everything on my hill." Chadol took out a needle and a string from his paper pocket and stitched it. When the scholar asked, "Hey, what are you doing now?" the paper cried and asked, "What are you doing?" "What am I doing?" said, "I'm caring for the petite woman so she doesn't get hurt when she crosses that deep stream. I'm taking care of her so that she doesn't get hurt in even one place. There is a hole that is about an inch deep under her belly button. I'm afraid that I might catch a cold, so I'm trying to sew it up." The scholar is greatly pleased with the foolishness of the servant and is very sincere. "Don't tie the hole that is originally attached to it." "I understand, my master." Then the scholar wonders and asks again, "But why have you been taking out the jar and sewing it?"
Yeah!